if you had the freedom to be, do, or have whatever you wanted, what would that be? What would that look like? We crave freedom, don't we? We always think that, you know, we would love more freedom to go where we want, do what we want, spend what kind of money we want, have freedom. It's for so many people, it's like one of our top values. Welcome to day 87 of my 90-day mental, emotional, spiritual well-being series. We're going to talk about freedom. We want freedom for doing things, freedom to do certain things, but we also want the freedom to get away from certain other things, right? To let go of, to move away from. So there's two kinds of freedoms, if you like. So maybe make a list, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and write down all the things that you would love to have the freedom to do, or to be, right? Or to go, right? So moving forward, what are the things that you would love to have the freedom to? Okay, so maybe the freedom to travel, maybe the freedom to work when you want to work, maybe the freedom to live in a place that you would love, maybe the freedom to be with the people you want to be, and just literally do whatever you want to do. All right, now while a lot of those things may be big goals and dreams, and it may not seem realistic right now, there's certain things that we can do to move towards that. Okay, so this is where the whole thing around goals comes in, because that's what you want to move towards. But equally, we often want to have the freedom to let go of other things, to move away from, to release. So we might want the freedom, might want to be free of anxiety. We might want to be free of the kind of restrictions that we have around our job or our work or where we live or the people in our life. We might want to be free of having to pay the bills and living from hand to mouth. So those kinds of things kind of keep us more in stress, ironically. So we want to be free of stress, free of anxiety, but unless we can find a way to do that, or a way of thinking to move away from that, it kind of keeps us where we are. So two things that we kind of want, and they're in opposition, is freedom and also security. So if one of your highest values, if one of the things that you really value in life is freedom, and that's what you are all about, freedom to travel, to go where you want, to do the kind of work you want, to have the kind of money you want, to say what you want. Because a lot of times, one of the biggest things is that we feel that we don't have the freedom to speak out. So there's things that we really want to move towards. The opposite of that, we also have a need for, which is a need for security, a need for stability and safety and knowing, that kind of groundedness. And if we value them both, there can sometimes be a conflict. It depends on what it is and how we go about doing it. So you might value freedom, but you also want security. So how does that manifest? How does that look like in the real world for you? So we can break it down into what we want to feel secure about, how we can make that happen. And there'll be a different kind of energy for the things we want to feel free about. So although they're kind of opposite words, there's value and meaning in each of them separately and differently. So look at the things that you want to be free to be and do, and also look at the things that you want to be free to let go of, or free to release, or free to drop. And they're the things that we can also create some goals around. Because as human beings, we have two kind of motivations. Either we are more motivated towards doing something, or we're motivated towards not having it. So away from or towards. There are two kind of primary motivations, and we tend to have a leniency towards one or the other. So I'll tell you a story very quickly. I was going to be doing a course in Florida, and the way that the trainer was describing to me, he was a very, very smart guy, and the way that he was describing not so much the course, because he was a very visual thinker, but he was describing the blue skies and the ocean and the white sandy beaches, and just so many things which were appealing to me, appealing to my senses. And I just felt drawn to do that because of the way that he described it. I was very much towards for doing the course and being in Florida to do the course. And what was somebody else might have been thinking of more of an away from. So although they might have liked the sound of that, they were more drawn to do that course because they didn't want to miss out, or they didn't want to not grow or have the qualification, or they didn't want to not take it up to the next level. So because they're drawn to not having something, that is motivating them to do it. Does that make sense? So we can be drawn forward to do something, or the fear of not doing it, that's what motivates us as well. So it's kind of like an away from, but that is what is big in the mind. So another one is like around money. So you might want to do a particular job, for example, because of the benefits, because of the pay, because of what you'll get from it. But equally, you might be motivated to do the job because you don't want to be deeper in debt, because you don't want to be continually looking for another job, because you don't want to be rejected. Okay, so you'll still do the thing, but you've got different motivations. So bearing that in mind, when we're talking about freedom to move towards something and to be, do and have things, and also freedoms to move away from things, think about what draws you to take action in that area. So if you want to be free from anxiety or free from stress and overwhelm, they are feelings. And we've talked so much in these previous videos, so go back and check them, and do subscribe if you've enjoyed hearing what you've heard with me. We've talked a lot about how you can change your state, change your feelings around things. Feelings are very valid, all of them. But if they keep us stuck, if they keep us where we are and we're not moving forward, we're not making that progress that we actually want, then something needs to change. And it's usually always action. Okay, and sometimes we feel that we need to have the courage before we take the action. But the truth is, you need to take the action first, and that will give you the courage. All right, just taking that uncomfortable action, and then you keep on building those up, and then that keeps on building up your courage, because you're acknowledging those things that you did which were difficult to do. You feared doing them, you held back from doing them, but then when you actually did them and pushed through and did it anyway and got through, then that's what builds up the courage. That's what builds up your self-efficacy. So you've got your list of the things that you want freedom for, and you've got the list of the things you want freedom from. You want freedom from the excess weight, or freedom from the debilitating hours that you work, freedom from the kind of company you keep. Okay, so when you look at those lists, start thinking about actions that you can take. This will really motivate you to make some changes in those areas, because when you feel it, when you know if it's something you want to move towards or something that you want to move away from, you're going to get a sense of what you need to do. And they can just be small actions, but with big impact. And it's just about building that up and doing a little bit every day, doing a little bit whenever you think about it. Ask yourself that question. Okay, am I moving? Is this something I want freedom for, or is this something that I want freedom from? Okay, and what different choices can you make? Awesome, great. We are nearly there. A few more to go in this 90-day challenge. So hope you've enjoyed listening, and I will catch you in the next video.